Well, think about this. There are more than 700 wineries right here in the Willamette Valley, plus dozens more in Southwest Washington. Clearly, we do have a region that is great for wine grapes. But what about the threat of wildfires and the smoke that comes with them? In tonight's Northwest Grown, an Oregon State University professor is leading the research that's searching for answers. Wildfires have far-reaching impacts, as we saw during the 2020 Labor Day fires that devastated several communities in Oregon. Then there's the smoke, which can affect crops, including local wine grapes.
And the minute I saw some of those fires burning right up against sort of the Willamette Valley, and with the wind that was happening, it was just like, this is going to be really challenging.
Taking on the tough task of studying those smoke impacts on wine and grapes is Elizabeth Tomasino, who teaches enology, the study of wines, at Oregon State University.
Because there were some really impacted areas, but there were a couple pockets where there weren't. And it was sort of like, I don't understand why these spots are okay.
And she's on the way to understanding more as the lead researcher in a more than $7.5 million grant. It is a big chain reaction.
And currently it's felt multiple years, so just because you had 1 year, there are impacts in at least up to 3 years afterwards.
One of the impacts is how the wine tastes, but that's not something you'll get in a bottle you buy at the store.
It is primarily the flavor, but as a consumer, you shouldn't have to worry about that because wineries aren't going to release the problematic wines. What we're trying to work out is how to prevent it from getting into the grapes, so even if you have smoke, you'll still get your favorite wine bottle. Or if it does get in, we can do some processing to remove it and still maintain quality. So the whole goal is you as a consumer would never have that problem.
For years, a certain class of compounds called volatile phenols were markers for smoke taint. Through Elizabeth's work with a doctoral student, they discovered a new class of compounds, thiophenols, which will help people do an even better job of tracing that smoke taint in wine and grapes. Isn't it so fascinating? Now, wildfires aren't just an issue here in our area. It is much of the West Coast, as you probably see in our coverage. And of course, to study smoke impacts on grapes, you'd want to be close to them, right, when that smoke is around the grapes. So to help connect the research in this whole region, both Washington State University and the University of California, Davis are collaborating with OSU in this study. Next week, I'll actually have more on ideas for solutions to the smoke problem. So you want to see that as well.